This last piece is from the last book of my book, the Boomer Bible, which anticipated my dad's death, and it contains a single word edit at the very end. So I'm going to begin at chapter 15 of the Book of Rationalizations. In a way, it's like coming back at something you've seen a million times, only from a different direction, which makes it all look different completely. Because I'm an old man now, and I've gotten older than Lincoln ever had a chance to get. And so I know those eyes of his aren't about being older, which maybe I used to think when I was a kid, because my eyes aren't like that, in spite of all the trouble and pain I've ever experienced, and all the things I've ever worried about, and all the ideas and causes I've ever believed in. My eyes don't see what Lincoln saw, and I just can't ever get to the end of who he must have been, which makes me feel better somehow. He looks right at me, and I can see that all of everything is in his eyes, including the principle of union and the bone-deep scars of the slaves and the acrid embers of Atlanta and the amputation tent at Antietam and the rape and ruin of 1,000,000 homes and children dying of hunger and typhoid and loneliness, and all that could be avoided if you had put aside the principle and admit that no idea can ever be worth all of this, because no idea can justify an inquisition or the burning of a heretic or the madness of religious guilt and devouring fear of sin, and all the rest of what flows from the wounds of a single man nailed to a cross in the desert. But all of everything is in his eyes, and the principle is there too, and he will not cast it down, not now, not ever, but clothes himself in it like a flag, because he knows something I once knew but have forgotten or never learned right in the first place. If only I could remember what it was. But I never figured it out. Just like everything else. And I came home to make everything fine again. And I ran in the rat race. And I thought I knew up from down and back from front and right from wrong, and I was an idiot. Because it doesn't matter if you know up from down and right from wrong if you don't know why. I took out the trash, and I mowed the lawn, and I painted the house, and I paid the bills, and I went to work, sick or well, and I shaved every day, even on weekends. And I taught my boys how to throw a football and a baseball, and that's the only thing they learned from me, because I had everything wrong from the very beginning, and somehow they always knew and never forgave me. But do I deserve this? To be alone, filled to the gills in a gray linoleum box? Maybe so. Maybe there is a kind of justice after all. The last chance to reflect, leading to one final moment of recognition. And if I can earn that moment, maybe I'll get to see her again before I die, which would be paradise for all eternity, and the answer to all my prayers, and worth everything I have ever suffered or endured all of it, even though I had a son named Robert.